Tell you them to stay out of crime, brethren. You know worth it. And waste of life and waste of time, brother. Tell you them to stay out of crime, brethren. You know worth it. And waste of life and waste of time, brother.
Okay, so I haven't uploaded for a while, but I've decided that I need to upload this video because so much has been going on in the space in regards to what's been going on in Jamaica. You know, I was just perusing on you know, YouTube as I eat my late dinner, and bang, there was live going off of Vybz Kartel's Imminent Freedom, and I was like, what? Really? Whoa. Yeah, so we're here to talk about Vybz Kartel because, to be honest with you, a few things struck me why I decided I was going to do this video. Now, after the live, I could have done a video immediately, like I knew a lot of YouTubers were going to do, a lot of vloggers and bloggers or whatever is going to do. But I'm in London, and you know, we're 5-6 hours ahead, so it was late for me, and I was tired. I was knackered, bro. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not doing a video. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Now, the reason why it's a shock to me is because every indicator projected to me that you know, there would be a retrial, or should I say there could be a retrial. And the reason why is he's been to the highest courts in Jamaica, and you know, he didn't get any sort of way forwards. Now, this video is not about whether Vybz Kartel is guilty or not, whether the evidence shows that he's guilty or innocent, or whatever. This is not what this video is about. I'm just clearly reacting to the video itself of his release and some stuff that I sort of observed during the video clips of him being released. That's what this video is about. I'm not here to debate whether he's innocent or is guilty on either side, because I'm not in a position, to be honest, to debate that. But in terms of the release, I'm going to play a clip of the release, obviously. So just in advance, shout out to CVM, because this video is from CVM, so all credit due to them. I'm going to put their angle up, like they're at, and everything up for them. You know, I've looked at videos that they've done. They're very good in terms of their videos and their reporting, to be honest. The Jamaica Observer as well, they're good. TVJ, all of them are good. The Gleaner, they've all been good, to be honest. They're all good in their own right. So yeah, shout out to CVM for this. It's just very short clips of very few minutes or whatever. But yeah, I'm just going to jump into this video. Now, the fan is going off in the background, and hopefully you don't hear it. But if you do, my apologies, because it's hot as hell in London. Here is some 29 and 30 odd degrees, which is almost Jamaica type weather. So yeah, with that said, let's just jump over into this video and hear what you know, Vybz Kartel have to say and how the crowd reacted, etc.
How you feel, Cartel?
Feel good. It's a joy.
What was it like being inside prison?
Hell. I'm here to tell the youth them stay out of.
Alright, no, I've noticed a few things. Now, the reason why I've paused the video there is because as you can see, you've heard one of the journalists from, I think it's CVM, asked Vybz Kartel what it's been like in prison. Don't know why he asked that question, what sort of response he was expecting to hear. Think about it for a second. But I understand it is journalism. You want a reaction, you want a response, and it's a good question, even though it sounds like anyway, I'm not gonna say it's an interesting question. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, his response was hell. And I'm like, well, of course. I mean, it's bad. The guy's been in prison for over 10 years. That's it would feel like that. So yeah. But what I've noticed as well is the handkerchief that he's got covered his head and cover over his face. And I'll show you another video where he has it hanging out his pocket as well. Now I'm thinking, is that symbolic? Let me clear my throat. And let me ask the question again. is that symbolic? Could it be that Vybz Kartel is sending subliminal messages? Because you know, Vybz Kartel is one of those persons that's very good with subliminals. He's learned that from the hip hop artists, you know, over the years. You know, because the culture influences Jamaica and vice versa. So is this a sub to say, well, we know who we support? Because as you can see, he might wear orange colors. Yes, he might wear orange colors. Make we go back and look. See it there? The man I wear the orange colors. So what does that mean? Is that a symbol to say, this is what I'm representing and this is what it's about? You know what I mean? Is, you know, that's an interesting...
Feel good. That's
What was it like being inside prison?
hell.
So he's saying it's hell, it's hell, it's hell. But the thing that stood out to me is, you know, the fact that he's wearing you know, a orange handkerchief. It could have been any color. It could have been blue, it could have been green, purple. It could have been any color. Why orange though? Or some people might say that's not orange, that's red. But you know, it's kind of close to the PNP party's colors. That's all I'm saying. So is this a political subliminal to get his followers to support? And if that's the case, I tell you, no, Andrew Holness is done. I mean, we've been predicted and all the polls been saying Andrew Holness is finished anyway. But letting Vybz Kartel out and him come up with these colors, I think this is the final nail for Andrew. That's what I'm thinking. We don't even have to say it. Because as I say, he doesn't have to say it. This guy has so much influence internationally that sometimes it's not what he says, but what he does. And the little gestures that he does. The symbolics and the symbols. And we all understand symbols and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just one of those things. So let me just jump back to me quickly. I must say I'm surprised at the release. I think it caught a lot of people off guard, even though we heard rumors that it could be released by at least September or whatever. But yeah, for it to happen so quickly and so fast, that was surprising. That came as a shock to me. I didn't expect that at all to happen, and I'm sure it caught a lot of other people by surprise. In my opinion, I thought they would have never released Vybz Kartel. And the reason why I said that is because, I don't know, I was shocked to see Vybz Kartel being released from prison, because my own personal view was they will never release him from prison because, you know, it's a situation where he's got too much influence internationally. And if you're in a government is perceived to be at odds, yeah, then it's in their interest to keep him in prison, especially during the election time, you know, because it could be a situation where if the longer them keep him in there is to their advantage, especially if he's batting for the other side, meaning he's batting for the you know, for the PNP party in that respect. But it is what it is. We don't really know the full thing behind it. But I just thought if they released him early before the general election, and he's got some bitter feelings towards the government and how long they've incarcerated him, and because of his say political, but because of his social influence as a DJ, you know, celebrity, whatever, you know, he could just do small gestures that will get people to vote for the opposition right now, and that would just cement it for the other current party to be leaving office. Now, saying all of that, if you notice, there's a point in the video where I'm actually say, you know, people need to stay out of you know, crime and violence and whatever. It's not worth it. It's a waste. You're just wasting your life. But obviously, he swore as well. So the CVM being the television they cut that bit out. So let me see if we can find it and make you hear it again. Just give me a second. Let me just unmute this thing.
How you feel, Cartel?
Feel good. It's a joy.
What was it like being inside prison?
Hell. Hell.
Listen.
I'm here to tell the youth them stay out of
Yeah,
What was it
yeah.
like being inside prison?
hell.
He said, tell the youth them.
I'm here to tell the youth them stay out of
Yeah, so him say basically he swore at that point when him said them to stay out of, you know, stay out of crime. So he's obviously telling them to stay out of crime because of the sufferation and the ordeal that he had to go through. Now I'm sure Sir P have his own angle on this whole thing. And him already say Sunday come him gonna drop one bombshell and drop one video. So we'll see how that gonna go. But I am not, let me just say here and now, I am not a Vybz Kartel fan. I am not a fan of any celebrity whatsoever. The same view I have for politicians are the same view me have for celebrity. No, all the two of them are the same light because they do very similar things. And this is why you see politicians and celebrities always hand in hand with each other, because they use the same tactics, the same techniques to get clout, to have influence, and to have a large following and a die-hard following and fan base and whatever else. Both of them use the same methods, you know, like that. I mean, so for that reason, you know, a lot of them project themselves one way in public and they're a completely different person in private. I can tell you that from personal experience, from observing people who, anyway, we're not gonna call no name, but I'm just telling you that that's the situation with them. So having said that, let me just go over and play the other bit of video where him get released when he was just finally getting released from prison. Let's just play that.
Tell the youth them to stay out of crime, brethren. You know worth it. A waste of life and waste of time, brother.
If you notice the colors, I'm not gonna use my mouse. If you notice the colors and the person behind him, I'm not sure who they are. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who they are. But he's done in the colors, got it in his this is a statement. And if people don't understand statements and symbolism, I mean, he knew there was gonna be a host of TV and vloggers and bloggers and God knows the whole media circuit is gonna be out in this situation. He knew what was gonna happen. I'm sure he would have had people coming in and out a few times, checking the temperature of what's going on outside, so he can come out at the optimal moment, you know, in his glory. Because if him realize that we are not much media people outside, well, I could go and sit down and kick back a little bit and wait till more of the media people arrive. I mean, I'm not saying that's what he did, but I was saying if that's what he planned, that would be a very, very smart strategy. You want to come out in a moment of glory with all the camera lights blazing and everybody jockeying for position with mic shoving in your face, trying to get that little one-liner from you and whatever. And he did give the one-liner, as you've heard. But the thing that stuck out to me, or stood out to me, was the color, the handkerchief that he chose to don. And of course, the fact that him going in a full white. Because it's all symbolic. White tends to be the color that apparently is used because it's aligned with purity and you know, and being a good person of good character and being pure and all those type of positive situation, as opposed to the color black. That's not my personal belief, but a lot of people equate white to something holy and something pure, and black to something evil and something demonic and bad and that type of stuff. So I don't subscribe to that personally, but a lot of people have that. But again, as a celebrity, he's playing the media game, and as you can see, let me just so I mute it and let it play. So as you can see, it's a matter that, you know, he's wearing the orange or red color, and I think that's symbolic of politics. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a gang in America, the famous New York gang. We know who they are already, the Bloods and the Crips. And the Bloods, I think, wear red, but that doesn't look red, it looks orange to me, which means it's not the Bloods and the Crip in my rep, right? So it's more like the PNP party in my rep. So that might be a political statement. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I could be completely wrong. And if I'm wrong, I stand corrected if I'm wrong. But from all the videos and stuff I've seen of Vybz Kartel, he's very strategic. He's very cunning. And when he plans something, he plans it in a way. He knows what he's doing. He knows the impact, the messaging, the optics. He knows the full 9 yards of what he's doing. And this here with the white clothes head to toe, and then him put on the orange handkerchief stuff is telltale signs of where his mind is right now and the messaging he wants to bring across. And of course he's telling people to stay away from crime because the youth to stay away from crime, which I think is a good message to give. I just think it's sad, it's a bit too late. You had to go through such a hard
Tell you them to stay out of crime, brethren. You know worth it. A waste of life and waste of time, brother. Tell you them to stay out of crime, brethren. You know worth it. A waste of life and waste of time, brother.
Good. Yeah, listen, you.
Tell you them to stay out of crime.
Let me just rewind that to all the little youth them who listening. I wanna follow him. I wanna call Vybz Kartel on a world boss, and wanna call him and a Gaza. I wanna say or whatever it is. Know that he's gone through the ordeal and they've all followed him, especially the diehard Gaza fans. You've been following Vybz Kartel case ever since he was arrested. How many years ago? Yeah. Now I'm hoping this message sinking on the head. Now, as I say, I'm not here to judge of Vybz Kartel and whether he's innocent or he's guilty, whether there wasn't substantial amount of evidence to convict him. Obviously, a lot of technicalities took place, a lot of irregularities took place, and because all the I's weren't dotted and all the T's weren't crossed on technicalities, he's been let out, rather than going through the full court system and then they find him guilty or innocent. In my opinion, even though he's freed, there's still that stigma that's going to follow him for the rest of his life. There's still that cloud that's going to hang over his head, unfortunately, for the rest of his life. I would have preferred to see him clear him name and silence the doubters. And I just think that's what it is. I think, but whether this would mean corporate companies will still do business with him, because I'm sure a lot of them are going to probably line up. A lot of hip-hop artists in America are probably following this. I mean, no fear facts them are going to look for a feature. So we don't know who them is already. Everybody in hip-hop, them going to be looking for a feature. They're going to be looking for collabs. So him probably going to spend the rest of the God knows how long doing that before he may even start the features with Jamaican artists. I don't know. That I could be wrong. I'm just speculating at this point. But my main message here is I hope the youth them listen to what Vybz Kartel have to say, because what he has to say is very pertinent, and maybe if it comes from his mouth, them would listen to him now. Whether he mean it or not, or it's just another soundbite for the cameras, I don't know. But I'm going to just take him word for it and say he's giving out a message to the youth, which is a positive message. And I'm just hoping that the youth them listen to what him have to say. So just listen up, youths out there who watch it. And any elderly people or older people who watch this, make on replay this, make on kids them hear it.
Tell you them to stay out of crime, brethren. You know worth it. A waste of life and waste of time, brother.
Yeah, because Vybz Kartel is literally, Vybz Kartel is literally just wasted his life and wasted his time languishing in prison over the mounting allegation that was on his name and some of his co-accused. Now, as I said to you, and I keep repeating because me know say both YouTubers and Gaza fans and everybody is going to try to come for me. I am not here to pronounce guilt or innocence. I am not here to dissect and look into the different angles of whether I'm innocent or I'm guilty. I did a video on Vybz Kartel already over on Assay TV, where I actually did a lot of comment on that in that regard. So I'm not going to do that here. And even in that video, I didn't pronounce him guilty or innocent either. I just say, well, these are the stuff that take place behind the scene, and these are the type of stuff that people need to be aware of. So here we are again. Vybz Kartel is free. I'm sure all his fans are going to be happy. Lots of people are going to be celebrating. Lots of little party all over the place are going to spring up. We see Vybz Kartel of liquor and a man a drink. I mean, I think for somebody who is seriously ill, the last thing that should be shoved in his hand is an alcoholic beverage. That's all I have to say about that. I don't think illness and any form of alcoholic beverage go together. It don't. And with I think he has grave disease or something. And obviously he covered his face with the orange handkerchief because, you know, his face looks like it's swollen up on one side and it's drooping down on another side. And some people say his heart is functioning at half capacity or something to that effect. And to me, one telltale sign of someone who could be at high risk of a heart attack is when one side of them face start to droop down. Yeah. And them I feel cramping at them left hand and all them type of things. There's lots of little signs. So if you have people that's elderly or even people that are not on a good diet, and obviously while Vybz Kartel was in prison, he's on a prison diet. Let's just put it that way. It's not the best diet. It's not like some French gourmet meal he might eat, some Gordon Ramsay type thing he might eat, or a prison food. So here are some questions that I want to go through anyway. The first one is, could it be that Vybz Kartel is freed to save funds for the election? Think about it, because remember, him got the Privy Council and them order that the government, well, the taxpayer, really, Jamaican taxpayer, wanna pay Vybz Kartel legal fees back and all that type of stuff. So if you have to pay, if the Privy Council has ordered the Jamaican government to pay back Vybz Kartel legal fee, this is not come out of the politician in pocket. This is come out of the public purse. This is come out of the public wallet. That's where this is coming out of. And they're gonna have to, the public taxpayers are gonna be paying back Vybz Kartel fee. Now most of Gaza fans who are taxpayers, I'm sure you'll be happily know the government to go do that, because I found no money on your world boss, so you should have any problem with it. So I'm wondering if them saving the funds, because there's gonna be a very competitive election campaign coming up to December when the election commence, I should say. So all the money that they've paid to Vybz Kartel, if they'd retried him, my own thinking is, after paying over all this substantial amount of money back to Cartel's team, they're going to turn on and use that same money and fight the government in a retrial anyway. So the government probably thinking there's another set of taxpayers' money, a fight for another God knows how long. So I'm thinking, from all the rumors we've heard about the government, maybe they might think, you know what, we might as well just free him out, and take the money where would I fight him go a second round and fight him. We take the money there and use it for what we normally do, distribute money out to the different poor people and susceptible people for buy vote, which I'm amazed something like that isn't illegal in Jamaica, because at the end of the day, both sides, from what I can understand, is doing it. And also, from what I understand, both sides have done it in the past, where they might give people all type of fringe benefits, including money, in order for them to vote for their particular I can't say the word particular, for them to vote for their particular persuasion in that in sense of politics. So maybe they're going to say, let's save the funds and use it for buy the vote them later on when things heat up. That could be one. I'm just speculating. Today's a speculative video, so it is what it is. Two, I look and I'm say, could it be that Vybz Kartel is so ill? Yeah, because remember him saying he have grave disease and probably other complication with him, heart and so on. He's so ill that they want to avoid any blame if it gets critical. So in other words, if his illness becomes critical, which it could be life-threatening, if he perishes behind bars, yeah, that's gonna hold that the government is gonna be liable for that. And that's when the floodgates are gonna be opening and all the conspiracy theories are gonna come out and somebody kill him and who do this, that, and the third to him and whatever and unalive him or whatever. So I think it's in the government might have been thinking strategically and saying, you know what, he's this ill, let's let him out. I saw a similar play with Mandela back in the day. Not that I'm comparing Vybz Kartel to Mandela. Let's not get it weird. Back up. I'm not comparing them at all. But I'm just saying I see a similar city play in South Africa when Mandela was old and feeble and ill and critical in prison. Them release him. And my first thought was, them not release this man because them feel say he's not a threat or whatever. Them are releasing because them not want him die in a prison. Because if Mandela died in prison, the whole of South Africa would have burned down. South Africa would have turned upside down. And them know that. Them know that. The apartheid government, but they know that. And it would be very difficult for the West to run in and, as them normally do, them always back the demon and the evil person. They never on the side of the good guy. Them always on the side of the bad guys. Go check the history. And they would have probably been begging for the West to come save them. And they would have been on the wrong side of history. But I don't think that would have worked. South Africa would be burning, brother, from corner to corner. And because they wanted to avoid an uprising like that and make Mandela a martyr, them letting him out when him old and feeble and maybe him running an election and become president and he had to step down soon after. And not only after, so he never lived very long after him come out of prison. Him just living few last years or days or few last years or whatever, or long, and then in pass. So, and then them not liable for it. But whilst he's in prison, we don't know if them did have poison him and slow poison him in a prison. We don't know if them would have treated him badly and do him health. Because these things happen. And just not to get that backlash, them say, you know what, this person's so seriously ill. When them doctors check him, them say, you better release him now while him still can at least walk up and stand up and talk. Because anyhow, this man get really critical and pass away in a prison. The whole of South Africa got burned. So I look on it the same way now. I say, you know, Vybz Kartel, there's all these reports coming out that he was seriously ill, heart condition, grave disease, this, that, and you see how poorly he is. And I'm afraid to cover up some of the symptoms of his illness. That I'm thinking the Jamaican government think, you know what, I think the move is release him, not only we are save money that we can go use in an election for by election, because that's one rule. The other possibility could be if this man a critical illness becomes worse, Jamaica got turned upside down. And in the eve of an election coming in December, that's the last thing the government wants. So them probably account them chips and say, when him come out, him have a beef against because we keep him in there for so long, the DPP and whatever, which represents the government. So me can't see him turn around now and I go tell him fans them to support the JLP party. If him do that, boy, I know say unless some deal type strike. But that would shock a lot of him fans, and I think a lot of Vybz Kartel fans would look on him sideways for that. So the statement with the orange handkerchief kind of says something to me in that respect. But I might be way off, but that's also my brain work. Me looking at things that people not even look upon. Here's the third thing. Did anyone spot the orange handkerchief? These are just lists of stuff that me did write down before. And we said that already. Now, if you notice, there's another bit in our film. I wanted to show it to you, but I can't. Because there's a bit in one of the YouTubers who you can see where Vybz Kartel, when he walked over to where Isaac Buchanan is, and I noticed that him literally walked past Isaac Buchanan and never even give him a heel. But then we look a bit closer the second time and say, no man, me can't believe say Vybz Kartel after all that's going on in council, in legal counsel, just walk by them and him even dap them up or give them a nod or give them a nothing. Give them a fist bump or something. And then realize discreetly Isaac Buchanan was waving him on to say, keep moving, keep going, don't stop. And in other words, we can deal with the hellos and the hug up and whatever later. Maybe that go on inside of the prison wall already, where when Vybz Kartel finally get the news, and they would have obviously went in and visit him, a Vybz Kartel legal team I'm talking about now, and they would have been able to say, listen, in that respect, it's best if you just, you know, let me just pan over to here. It will be a situation where them say, in that respect, it's better you just, you know, let me just make this play. I think I should let it play. Yeah. So in that respect, but I'm going to put it on mute so it doesn't disturb with what I'm saying. So I'm just thinking, I'm sure his legal team already spoke to him behind the prison doors and give him the good news that he wants to hear. And all the hugs and shaking of hands and all that would have gone behind the prison door before, you know, out of the sight of the public. And then whilst he's outside now, him just wave them on and tell them discreetly. I had to look very closely to see, because the angle that I saw the video from, you couldn't see very good, but I saw the shoulder movement and I said, oh, he's waving them on to tell them to keep moving, go towards the vehicle and go in and keep it moving, because obviously the security would want Vybz Kartel evacuate the area as soon as possible. Otherwise it took a cause. The longer I'm dilly-dallying in that area, the more chaos it took a cause, the more confusion I got spur, and the more difficult the security job's going to be. So I think him probably just wave him on to say, you know, just keep it moving, go in the vehicle. If you have to give a look at one line, I give you one line and you can, you know, get your rest and whatever. But it seems like you must celebrate, because I go up on him TikTok and him already on TikTok with liquor and him and him attack and him do him thing. But hey, you know what? I'm not going to judge him when a man incarcerated for so many years, even with his critical illnesses that he has and he's suffering. You can't tell a man who just a smell fresh air for the first time a freedom. So boy, put on the liquor buckle, you're not too well, you're sick. You need to look out about your health first. A celebration come to mind. But that's up to his family and his new wife, I think, for him to give him that advice to say, you know, what you need to look about your health and whatever. But as I say, this is just a pure video on Vybz Kartel's release and the sort of things that I'm looking at. So yeah, I think that's the most I'm going to say about this. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people around the world would be ecstatic with this news. Me personally, boy, me just an observer. I'm just an observer. Think of me as the alien who not have no horse in the race. And just like with politicians, me treat celebrities the same way. Me not trust them, and I am not a fan or a fanatic of any celebrity whatsoever. None. There's no celebrity, not even Bob Marley. None of them. Because these are human beings and they have flaws. Now what I'll have is, I'll have a certain amount of respect for certain people. I might have a certain amount of, I wouldn't say admiration, but I'll look at certain people and say, okay, good. You know, there's national heroes of Jamaica that may look to and respect what they've done for their culture and for their country and for other people. But whether I'm a fan of them, no. I think it takes a certain type of mindset to be a fan, and I don't have that mindset. That let me sit up. I don't have that bone in my body to be a fan of anybody. And that doesn't mean I don't like people or whatever. To be honest, I don't trust people. I don't trust people. I just don't trust people, and I very rarely reach out to people, because when you try and reach out to people, then now will disappoint you in some way. So I don't trust people. So especially celebrities and politicians, and them are always in bed with each other. So I am not a fan of Vybz Kartel, but I just find this whole thing interesting, because I thought the Jamaican government was gonna double down and fight him for another 10 years if that's what it's gonna be. But a lot of moving chairs are happening. A lot of things has changed over the time. The DPP have changed, and a lot of stuff might have. Excuse me, I had to pause and do a quick burp because I couldn't stop it. The DPP have changed, and maybe because the guards have changed at the DPP, it could mean fresh mind, fresh anger, fresh thoughts, or school of thought. I don't know. And for that reason, that might play a part in him going. I mean, I have a suspicion. We have to ask the question, though. We can't avoid the question. If the previous DPP, as it stands, we don't even know if them officially gone yet, and the one that was nominated or elected is officially in, because we're hearing rumors of the old DPP sneaking in through the back gate and the back door and the side door. And she's going in the building when she's not supposed to be going in the building. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't have any evidence or proof of it. But these are the stuff that's being rumored around. So, you know, I am looking at this whole thing and I'm thinking, I wonder if because there's a change of guards in the DPP, why Vybz Kartel finally get the chance to be released. Because I'm of the thought that if the previous DPP was still in charge and calling the shots, there probably would have been a retrial. So that's that we have to look at as well. Of course, we're not going to discount the lawyers, them not do them job. The Privy Council gave a big boost to it. There's a lot of anomaly in the case. I done telling already, there's lots of anomalies and irregularities in the case. It is what it is, but you know, I'm sure a lot of the hip-hop fans abroad, I would say the entire hip-hop are celebrating release. I would say the entire dancehall are celebrating release. And I would say a significant amount of Jamaicans, both home and abroad, and other fans internationally, is celebrating his release.